Chapter 3 The Lower Case. You free fall to the streets below, dropping 10 stories before you tense your muscles and feel your flight powers kick in. Most people think flying feels like floating, but you know it really feels more like swimming. It takes a lot of muscle control and endurance. Luckily, you've been training for years, the way a runner trains for a marathon, so you can fly today without much trouble. You pull upward, feeling gravity work with you instead of against you. You stretch out your arms and climb up into the sky, the exertion causing a familiar tingling in your abs. You allow yourself one joy ride up into a bank of clouds before swooping back down toward the cover of the skyline. Having your hero license makes flying legal, but you still don't need to start your career with an unregistered flying ticket. So you cruise low against the buildings toward the heart of the city, toward downtown MC. Every time you use your powers, your power level lowers. Different power exert different costs. For example, this kind of normal flying only lowers your power by 2. It's important to keep an eye on your power level as you begin to enter battles, but right now, you're strong at 98. Your flight from the eastern fringes takes you across the quaint brownstones of Rain Hill and through Valor Park. Pulling in closer to the high-end metal giants that mark downtown, you land on a ledge lined with silver statues of Greek gods and goddesses. One of the hardest parts of being a rookie hero is finding cases, a fact you're reminded of as a pink-clad heroine bothers some teenagers in a nearby alley, and 3 metal sentries thunder through the sky above you. Even if you are lucky enough to stumble upon a decent case, you'll still have to beat out dozens of other aspiring heroes to accomplish the mission and still get credit. So, how are you going to find your very first legitimate hero opportunity? We can either A. Patrol the streets, B. Search the hero classifieds, or C. Talk to my PFPP agent, Jenny Yu. I'm going to talk to Jenny. When your life was turned upside down by your parents' imprisonment, one of the only people you could trust was the PFPP agent assigned to your case, Jenny Yu. Even though Jenny doesn't have powers of her own, she loves powered hero stuff just as much as you do. So when you had no one else to talk to, you and Jenny would spend hours gushing about all your favorite heroes, games, and comics. Of course, Jenny is the first person you want to call to tell about your heroic start, especially since she'll have advice on how to find a good first case. You hold your arm up and press a button on your metal wristband, popping open a panel to reveal your embedded me chip. You can't imagine what life was like before humans merged with their tablets. Luca Me Now does so much for you. Hell, most days she even feels like your best friend. You also have your me chip to thank for your powers, since the current accepted powered origin theory is that advanced technology paved the way for powered abilities. This theory suggests that once humans integrated with tablet technology, these tablets began to cover many basic functions, like memory and navigation, for example. Once adjusted to this technological enhancement, the human body was able to evolve and unlock new potential in the form of powered abilities. These powers then began to solve pressing global problems, since humans could now do things like generate natural resources and survive in harsher conditions. It seems that the early 21st century technological boom laid the groundwork for the 22nd century powered boom, which has once again caused the world to change in startling and exciting ways. However, despite the me chip's ceaseless wonders, you currently just need it to make a call. Luca Me Now, you say, call Jenny Yu. Sure thing, Sugar Plum, me chip Luca says in your ear. Remind Jenny I have that makeover file ready for her whenever she's ready. Jenny picks up right away, her face appearing holographically in front of you. Since she is such a geek, you tend to forget how pretty Jenny is. She's half Korean, half British. She always wears her hair in a tight ponytail and never applies a bit of makeup, causing her to appear sleek and no nonsense at all times. Jenny is your best gal pal, and you even go to clubs together sometimes, since Jenny likes the ladies just as much as you like the fellas. Right now, Jenny looks a bit surprised to see you, probably because she has never seen your prison costume before. I assume this means your grandma gave you your license, Jenny says, traces of her British accent still present despite years of living in Millennia City. You mean you knew Grandma had my license and you didn't tell me? You ask, mildly offended. Please, your grandmother would have murdered me if I'd ruined her surprise. Anyway, check your email for your birthday present, Jenny says, looking you over. And just so you know, that costume makes your waist look bloody enormous. Bet Jenny, such a charmer, not missing a beat, you shoot back. We can say A, says the girl who channels a pony every day of her life. B, we all can't be as gorgeous as you, Jenny. Or C, oh, you're just jealous. I'm gonna go with, says the girl who channels a pony every day of her life. Look at you with the witty banter. Well, I have to run, but I've got another tip for you. A fingertip, if you will, Jenny says, chuckling to herself. Wait, what is that? Before you can finish, Jenny hangs up on you, one of her favorite things to do. Knowing that calling her back would be useless, you ask Michip Lugami now to open your email instead. And sure enough, Jenny has sent you quite a fantastic birthday present, a link to a hand-picked heroic case listing. Maybe she's not so intolerable. You smile as you start to read, because the case has been sponsored by Rexford Schillers, MC's wealthiest playboy. His family had a major stake in the construction of the Big Sur fusion plant that now powers all of Western America. It turns out Rexford recently held a charity gala at his townhouse for the Powered Orphan Fund. Naturally, it was the must-attend event of the social season, especially since the theme was a powered masquerade ball. The party was a smashing success, but the next day Rexford woke up to find one of his most prized possessions had been stolen. A party guest managed to get past the considerable security measures and steal a valuable Angelino artifact, the gravitas, a mysterious rod rumored to have hidden powers. What little is known about the gravitas makes it one of a kind, highly valuable, and potentially dangerous. The police are looking into the theft, but Rexford wants the artifact back so badly, he has opened the case up to any powered hero with a reward of $150,000. You nearly choke. That's a lot of money. With such a large reward at stake, along with inevitable media coverage surrounding the high-profile case, you know the competition on this one is going to be fierce. You check the page views on the listing, and of course, it has already been visited thousands of times. Still, you promised yourself you'd go big or go home. This would certainly qualify as going big. Though the real reason you want to take this case is because we can say, A, I really need that reward. B, the press coverage will get my name out in the heroic world. Or C, the gravitas could really hurt a lot of people if it falls into the wrong hands. I'm going to go with the press coverage. This can help launch you into at least D-list fame in MC, a solid place to start your climb. Unfortunately, the only clue available on this case is a photo of the suspected thief, who was an unnamed +1 guest at the gala. The photo features a man dressed in an expensive suit and wearing a mask themed after regalia, a very flamboyant hero rock star. To match his emerald-encrusted mask, the thief's suit is lined with green piping, and his fingertips are painted yellow. The photo isn't a whole lot to go on, so you start to wonder what kind of. But then a thought hits you so hard, you almost fall off the ledge. Jenny's fingertip. She's a genius, you think. Knowing those fingertips may be your one shot at solving this case before anyone else. Do you remember what color the thief's fingertips were painted? We sure do. They're yellow. That's right, his fingertips were yellow. This is a very important detail that no one else is bound to know the significance behind. MC's government requires that large-scale building projects designate a portion of their budget to power arts spending. Since Grandma has a particularly green thumb, she sometimes cultivates unique flowers commissioned by emerging property owners. One of Grandma's biggest sales was a species of crossbred orchids that sing classic operas. It took Grandma years to achieve this horticultural miracle, but there was one flaw in the design. If you touch one of these orchids, it turns your fingertips a different color, depending on the opera it was trained to sing. Grandma sold these orchids exclusively to one downtown high-rise building. This means that if the thief's fingertips were painted yellow from Grandma's orchids, you know exactly where he lives. That's the reason Jenny sent you this case listing. She also knows about the operatic orchid imprinting. She must have seen the thief's fingertips in the case photo and waited on the information, knowing you'd be legally licensed to investigate today on your birthday. You leap off the roof in the direction of the yellow orchid penthouse, excitement coursing through your veins. This is a very big case. How do you feel about taking it on? We can say, A, this case is a bit much for my first night, but I'm going to try to rise to the occasion. B, this case is perfect for me to start with. Or C, this case is way too easy. I can't wait to move on to much bigger and better stuff. I'm going to go ahead and say it's a bit much, but we're going to try to rise. A case with this much money and publicity at stake should be handled by someone with more experience, or any experience for that matter. Still, the fingertip lead is one that very few other heroes can follow. So, ready or not, you have to follow your instincts. The Orchid apartment is in central downtown, so your flight over will be super short. It's also good this thief can afford a penthouse, because it will be pretty easy for you to access by flight. Your first priority is finding the gravitas, but catching the thief would be an added bonus. What's the best way to approach the entry? We can either A, hover near the windows and see if anyone is home first, then act accordingly, or B, break into the apartment to try to find the gravitas inside. I'm going to hover near the windows. As the ritzy high-rise comes into view, you can already see Grandma's yellow orchids on the balcony. You relax your muscles and slow your pace as you approach the building, which proves difficult as adrenaline pulses through your veins. You drop down along the wall, trying to keep out of sight. A building like this is bound to have anti-powered security measures. Hovering close to the penthouse's window, you peer into the living room to see if anyone is home. Your heart nearly stops when you come face to face with a man standing inside the apartment, inches away from the glass. It's definitely the thief from the case photo, right down to the yellow-stained fingertips. Currently, he looks far less regal and far more menacing, with overgrown stubble and long, greasy hair. You freeze, trying to think what to do. Unfortunately, the thief thinks faster. He whips out a handgun and points it directly at you. How do you defend yourself? We can either A, throw up an energy shield with a power cost of 8, or B, let out an energy pulse with a power cost of 5. We're going to throw up an energy shield. Panicked, you close your eyes and focus on generating a protective energy shield around yourself. A very smart move, considering your costume upgrade cuts the power cost down to 4. Every time you choose to generate an energy shield, the deduction will automatically be The thief fires at you, immediately shattering the wall of glass in front of him and triggering a loud alarm. You hold your breath and brace yourself, but the bullet just ricochets off your energy shield. Seeing that his attacks will be useless, the thief turns and makes a run for it, and with the glass window now broken, you're able to fly right after him. As you pursue the thief, you expect him to run for the front door, which is why you're puzzled when he heads deeper into the lavishly decorated apartment. You race after him into the master bedroom suite, and as you do, your question about his escape plan is suddenly answered. The thief didn't head for the front door because he's got a teleportation unit in his bedroom. Personal teleportation units were supposed to be the next wave of the transportation future, but the automotive industry piled millions of dollars into research that revealed the potential cancer risks of atomic fission. So, the government had to ban the sale of the units, putting everyone back into planes, trains, and automobiles. This thief doesn't seem to care about the potential carcinogens, however, since he is already inside the unit and programming the machine's teleportation course. Without hesitation, you point your hands at the console and let an energy burst rip through the controls. The thief screams and jumps from the smoking unit. Furious, he looks up at you and snarls, "That was a very big mistake, rookie." You can barely hear him over the alarm blaring in your ears. You know it's only going to be minutes before the police show up, so you've got to act fast. The thief seems to be thinking the same thing as he jumps to his feet and pulls something out of his belt. What's your best move? We can either A. Stun the thief with a focused energy blast, which has a power cost of 5. B. Fly and physically attack the thief before he can act, which has a power cost of 3. C. Use an energy crackle to disarm the thief with a power cost of 2. D. Throw up an energy shield to discern the nature of the thief's weapon with a power cost of 8. Or E. Let loose a powerful energy barrage. Who cares if the thief survives the attack with a power cost of 15? I'm going to go ahead and fly and physically attack the thief before he can act. You fly straight for the thief, seeing that he has unsheathed an oversized sword that glows red hot. It's a high-tech energy disruptor blade. Good thing you went with a physical attack, since he could have easily shorted your energy attacks with that sword. As you reach the thief, he takes a swipe at you with the blade, but you duck under the blow. While he's off guard, you hold out your fists and hover a few feet off the ground, beginning to spin quickly, a move you like to call the Fists of Fury. You immediately barrage the thief with a series of spinning punches, knocking the sword out of his hand and sending him reeling across the room. Just as you have the thief disabled, you hear the wail of police sirens from the streets below. "Slugger," you curse, knowing you're almost out of time. You still aren't sure if the gravitas is even here in the apartment. You consider your options. You could wait for the police, then work with them to locate the gravitas. This would garner some goodwill with the MCPD, but it also might compromise your access to Schiller's reward. Or you could interrogate the thief before the police arrive to try to find the gravitas on your own, taking all the reward and credit for yourself. But if you do this, you'd definitely be pissing off the MCPD. What are you going to do? Better decide quickly. We can either say A. Screw the police, I'm going to handle this on my own. Or B. Working with the police is the best way to solve this case and start off my career. I'm going to say we're going to work with the police. 15 minutes later, you stand outside the building, watching as the police haul the thief into the back of a detainment van. Next to you stands Officer Sanders, a grizzly veteran with dark, almost black skin that contrasts with his grayish-white hair. He has a long scar where his left eyebrow should be, making his face appeared lopsided, considering his right eyebrow was bushy and white. His aged look doesn't seem to go with the technologically upgraded MCPD uniform that's now standard issue, but he still has quite the commanding presence. You've just told Officer Sanders everything about finding the thief. Well, not everything. You said you'd figured out the fingertip lead with an anonymous tip, since no one needs to know about your connections to Grandma and Jenny, nor that you're not necessarily a brilliant detective just yet. Turns out the thief's a gun-for-hire named Tracker, Officer Sanders says in a low, gravelly voice. He's got the power to discover the location of any person or object on the planet, so finding and stealing things is his specialty. You just helped us solve about 30 open theft cases. Anything to help, sir, you say, laying it on a bit thick. So are you sure he's the one who stole the gravitas? Listen, Officer Sanders says, leaning in to whisper. I'm technically not supposed to say anything to you, but you found this guy when no one else could, so we owe you one. If anyone asks, you figured this next part out on your own. Got it? Got it. You nod, already thinking it was a good move to work with the police. Tracker says he was hired by Smither to steal the gravitas, Officer Sanders says, his remaining eyebrow crinkling with severity. You freeze because you know exactly who Smither is, and learning that he's involved is not good news. We've already got officers en route to Smither's headquarters, but my guess is if you leave now, you can get there first. I'll tell my guys you're a friendly face. Just don't get in their way. I won't, you say, reaching to shake Officer Sanders' hand. Thank you, sir. You sure you can handle this? I don't need another dead rookie on my conscience. Don't worry, you'll be seeing a whole lot more of me, you promise. The name is Prism, by the way. Well, good luck, Prism, Officer Sanders says. Against Smither, you're sure as hell gonna need